I gave up writing that proposal and moved out to travel around. My biological parents and the poser Mary freaked out. They started blowing up my phone, begging me to finish it. But by then, I was already on a cruise to Antarctica. In my past life, my biological parents said whoever submitted the proposal first between me and Mary would inherit the company. Mary turned in a proposal identical to mine. Everyone accused me of copying and faking it to inherit the company. I tried to explain, but no one believed me. Mary even mocked me online, saying how could someone like me, who's never seen the world, come up with a proposal. I was bullied so bad, crazy people online even pushed me into traffic. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day my parents announced that whoever submitted the proposal first would inherit the company. You and Mary are both our daughters. To be fair, whoever submits the project proposal first will inherit the group, they said. I woke up with a start to see my biological parents standing right there. Dad in a suit looking strict yet fair, Mom in a skirt gentle and kind. They were saying the exact same words as last time. I clutched the pendant around my neck to hold back tears. I had been reborn. As soon as they left, a co-worker from the next desk hugged my arm, looking all excited. Anna, we all know your skills. You can definitely hand in the proposal before Mary. If you need anything, we're here to help. Another co-worker chimed in with a smile. Yeah, Anna, you're so good at your job. Writing up a proposal is going to be a piece of cake. We can't wait to call you general manager. Hearing them say that, I clenched my fists tighter, nails digging into my palm. In my past life, I didn't inherit the company. Instead, I was accused of plagiarizing Mary's proposal. Everyone online tore me apart. Only these two teammates believed me and spoke up for me. But no one listened. It even ended up dragging them down, getting mocked for backing the wrong horse. I closed my eyes, taking a deep breath to stop myself from shaking. The Mary everyone talked about is actually my biological parents' adopted daughter. We were switched at birth, and she grew up in luxury, spoiled, confident, and lively like a little son, while I'd been cramped with a large family in a tiny 400-square-foot apartment. When my biological parents found me, I was taking care of my adoptive mom, who was about to have her 7th kid. My living situation made my real parents frown. They decided to keep Mary and raise us both. They had us compete fairly. Whoever turned in the proposal first would inherit the company. Mary submitted hers a day before me, and it was exactly like mine. Everyone called me a copycat, shameless. My proposal was something I worked on bit by bit, burning the midnight oil. How could anyone think it was copied? I couldn't believe it. I rushed to the office to check both mine and Mary's proposals, flipping through them over and over, stunned into silence. Her 30,000-word proposal was identical to mine, down to the formulas and calculations. Some steps had my own quirks, and she had copied those too. I racked my brain, but couldn't figure out how it happened. Someone asked Mary about it on her showy social media account, and she replied all innocent. I have no idea why. Maybe it's a talent, since my sister has only gone to high school. With her big following, her words put me in the spotlight. The insults got nastier. Think you're special just 'cause you're biological? Inherited business smarts? Cheating and caught, what a joke. Your real parents rescued you from poverty. Be thankful. And stop trying to take away a company from the girl they spent millions raising. Some people shouldn't crave things that aren't theirs. Her adoptive family had 6 other daughters. She only finished high school. What does she know about proposals? Can't even copyright. Every word stabbed my heart. I snapped back to reality, staring at the office computer. I had used it to write the proposal in my past life. Could Mary have gotten into my files through the company's internal network? I shut the computer, deciding to buy a laptop. If I didn't work on it at the company, she couldn't access it. I'd make changes, write a new proposal. No way it would match this time. On the way to buy a computer, I thought back. My parents were naturally more attached to Mary. I mean, they spent more than 20 years raising her. Sometimes they'd be laughing and chatting with her, but would stop as soon as I walked in. But I couldn't say they treated me badly. They made sure I had what I needed, and even gave me an expensive necklace, one that took half a month just for ordering. When they suggested I compete with Mary, they hired a third-party agency to judge, to avoid bias. When I was bullied online, they comforted me and booked me a trip abroad to relax. Looking down at the necklace, I swore not to give up this time. No matter what Mary tried, I was going to prove to my parents and everyone else that even with little schooling, I had the capability and talent as a daughter of an elite family. I walked into an electronics store, picked out a new laptop, and had the staff set up a super complicated password and lock. Worried about accidentally connecting to the company network, I wrote the password on a piece of paper and kept it on me at all times. After all that, I stored the laptop safely at home before heading to work. I'm sitting at the office computer pretending to work, but I'm actually gaming. My colleague Lily approached and caught me gaming instead of working. She was totally stunned. "Anna, why are you playing games? Aren't you supposed to be working on the proposal? Are you giving up competing with Mary?" I smirked. "No way. From today till I finish my proposal, I won't do anything office-related here. Even if Mary wants to copy my proposal, she has to figure it out at home. I've disabled internet access on the office computer and locked it up in a safe. No way she can get to my computer now." I glanced over at Mary sitting a bit diagonally from me. She joined the company after me and now she's sitting there all relaxed with her phone. No stress at all. I was calm too, though I only graduated high school. I met a lot of influential people when I was working odd jobs. One of them, a company boss, invited me to work at his company. It was there I learned to draft proposals and work on projects, gaining a lot of experience. If my parents hadn't brought me back, I'd have stuck it out at that company for sure. I like the business world where it's all about capability, not family background. Since I'm the real daughter, and I have the chance to inherit the business, I'm gonna give it my all. My phone chimed with a notification. Mary's show-off account updated. She posted a few selfies from her desk, looking all stylish and well-groomed. Her caption read, "I must work hard on my proposal and rely on my own skills to inherit the company." In the comments, her followers were praising her and cheering her on. "Mary's fabulous, wealthy, highly educated, and so diligent at work. Does a rich heiress really have to compete to inherit the company?" Someone responded, "You're so behind. See the girl just behind her? That's the real heiress after a baby swap years ago." I zoomed in on the picture. Mary snapped me too. I wasn't wearing makeup, wore big black glasses, and was squeezed into the corner of the photo, looking all crooked and not even worthy of the ugly duckling. Her fans started commenting right away. "Oh, so this is the found daughter, so plain. Not even a fraction of Mary's charm. Biological, so what? Without elite education, what kind of proposal could she write? Mary's bound to win." Mary replied to one comment, "Don't say that. It takes guts for my sister to compete with me." Fans rushed to praise her kindness. I exited her account page, grabbed my bag, and headed home. Sure, Mary's education is elite, but it's all thanks to my parents sinking money into it. At the company, she's either on her phone or posing for pics. She can't write a proposal to save her life. Even with all her online posturing, she won't steal my proposal. Victory is mine. Locking myself in my room, I pulled an all-nighter and got half my proposal done. But as soon as I finished, I saw Mary updated her account, claiming she had half her proposal done too. My eyes widened as I checked her account, where she posted a photo of herself busy at her desk, alongside some proposal screenshots. She captioned, "Stayed up and got half of it done. I'm amazing." I enlarged her proposal screenshots and compared them to my laptop screen. Exact duplicates. How could this be happening? Last time it played out the same way. After I was accused of copying her proposal, Mary went live, wondering aloud why I copied her work. She claimed our parents would give me tons of money, even if I didn't inherit the business, ensuring my lifetime comfort. Eventually, she cried, "If my sister really wants the company, I'll let her have it." Her fans erupted in anger. "Anna's so shameless. Wake up and see yourself. Mary's pitiable. She won fair and square yet has to let go. Seriously, honor the competition. Why pull this stunt now? So disgusting, a poor girl grown up in slums. How dare she think herself fit to inherit?" I couldn't grasp why Mary copied my proposal only to falsely accuse me. I created an account to explain my side, asserting Mary was the copycat, but to no avail. While I was stuck defending myself, my parents, as company heads, gave an interview. Dad looked hurt. I wanted fair competition. Never thought Anna would stoop so low. Mom was teary. It's my fault as her mother for not providing Anna enough security. Hope you won't scold her again. I'll teach my child myself. Their words nailed my case to the shame wall. Online, I was harassed with calls and insults. Meanwhile, Mary flamboyantly claimed the group's leadership amidst public applause. People praised my parents' fairness, declaring they made the right choice, boosting company stock sky high. All was well, except for me. My parents insisted on sending me overseas for traveling. I didn't want to go, yet my usually gentle mom was upset. Mary's now in charge. How long will you keep fussing? Haven't we been good enough to you? I had no choice but to head to the airport with them. But while waiting roadside for the family car, an angry mob of netizens shoved me into traffic. Thinking of all this, I harshly deleted my half-written proposal. So it's just half, I'll rewrite it. I got up, made coffee, redrafted a new proposal outline. Once finished, I locked the laptop back in the safe before allowing myself to sleep. The next day, yawning all the way to work, Lily rushed at me with her phone. You didn't game all night, did you? Mary stayed up working on her proposal. You better hurry up. I was about to explain when I saw Mary's latest post on Lily's phone. Not feeling too satisfied with myself, I went ahead and wrote another plan draft. I'm awesome. I snatched the phone from Lily's hand and zoomed in on the picture. It felt like someone poured ice water all over me. My whole body was freezing. The plan draft Mary just released looks exactly like the one I wrote. Everything spun around me, and I had to brace myself with the table just to stay standing. My head was spinning, and I couldn't figure out why. I've already stopped working on the company computer. My home computer is brand new, and I've disabled the internet on it. I even changed the password on my safe. Where did things go wrong? Just as I was thinking that, Mary showed up for work. Morning, sis. I was up all night working on the plan. So tired. She yawned as she walked over, acting all cute. Then she innocently asked, how much did you write, sis? If you're later than me, I won't go easy on you. I stayed silent, just staring at her. She gave me a knowing smile and went to her desk. Mary knows what she's implying, and so do I. But if I run out and accuse her of copying my plan, they'd just think I'm crazy. She's like a princess, groomed by her wealthy family, picking up business tips from her parents since childhood. And then there's me. I grew up in the slums, never went past high school, bouncing from odd job to odd job. Anyone would think if our plans clashed, I'd be the one copying hers. I sat at my spot, going through Mary's Instagram comments, nearly glaring a hole through them. Someone asked Mary, even though you're competing with Anna, you still posted your plan on Instagram. Aren't you worried she might copy it? Mary replied right away, nope. I agreed to fair competition with my sister. Her plan is definitely not the same as mine. Underneath that tweet, tons of people were praising her. If you ask me, whoever can handle it should just take over the company. Skip the contest. Princess Mary is so sweet and kind. Keep an eye on that girl from the sticks. I'm worried jealousy might push her to do something bad. Our family's firm was hired by the group to oversee it. No way we'll be swayed. We'll protect Mary no matter what. If that hick dares to copy your plan, she'll end up with nothing. Mary has been flaunting luxury goods online since middle school and has gathered a massive following. Whatever she posts, people see it. She kept updating the contest to the point where all the netizens knew. I haven't done anything yet, but they're all assuming I'd copy. With a mocking smile, I skimmed over her uploads again. There's a mistake I made late at night, planning to fix it today. Her plan has the same error. How did that happen? Could my room be compromised? My laptop is new, but the safe isn't. It was already there when I moved in. It's got to be the safe. I didn't even bother asking for leave. I rushed out and grabbed a taxi to a small internet cafe about 10 kilometers away. I'd worked there before, and the owner was an outsider who wouldn't have ties with Mary. She couldn't have her fingers in this pie. Finding a secluded spot, I started working on the plan again. I rewrote the entire structure and filled it with new content. From early morning to late at night, I kept at it until I had 90% done. The conclusion needed some thought. With fresh eyes on the new plan, I felt a warmth in my eyes. This version is way better than any before. I poured everything I learned into it. I plan to get up early tomorrow, finish it at the cafe, and hand it in right at 8 a.m. Mary can't beat me this time. I printed the plan, wiped all traces from the computer. No electronic storage or transfers this time, just paper. Nothing can go wrong now. Just as I was leaving, the cafe owner invited me for some late-night food. I joined their family for a plate of stir-fried noodles. It was the most reassuring meal I've had since forever. But before I could finish, a message popped up from Lily. "Anna, hurry up and look." Mary tweeted. She said she's almost done and might submit it tomorrow. I froze, grabbed my phone, and checked Instagram. Mary's latest photo? It's the same plan I just wrote. Alongside is a selfie of her stretching in front of her computer. The caption reads, "Finally done. I can submit it tomorrow." How is it the same? And she's finished too, how? Stumbling back home, I found Dad, Mom, and Mary on the couch. Mom was feeding her fruit. "One more bite, just the last one. I've eaten enough already, I'm sick of it." Mary pouted, cozying into Mom's embrace while nibbling a grape. "If you're tired of it, we'll switch things up. Whatever my darling likes, we'll get it," Mom teased, tapping her nose. Suddenly, I felt a pang in my chest, my bag slipping from my hand. With a thud, all three turned to look at me. Mom tugged at a wavered smile, beckoning, "Anna, come sit down." I plopped onto the couch beside them. Mary still clung to Mom, tilting her head. "Sis, finished the plan yet?" I struggled for so long and finally did. "Dad," Mary called over to Dad, who was reading. "We've worked so hard. How about a trip abroad on you?" Putting his book down, Dad grinned warmly. "You're my daughters. I should treat you girls. It's what dads do. Dad, you're the best. Love you the most." Mary beamed sweetly at Dad. Mom pretended to be grumpy. And who was it that just said they love Mom the most? Suddenly I felt out of place. Before Mary could say more, I murmured, "Not done yet, it's tough." Mary nodded. "It's really tough. Even with everything I picked up at Dad's company, this one's a challenge." Dad looked at me without any surprise, saying, "The company's proposal might be a bit tough for you. No worries, see it as a learning opportunity." Mom agreed. "Yeah, even if Mary inherits the company, we'll never treat you unfairly. You're both our children, and we'll always be fair." Their faces seemed completely fine, no sign of anything unusual. I stood up, ready to head back to my room, reaching out to pick up my bag that had fallen on the floor. But I fumbled, and it dropped again. One of the printed proposals slipped out. Mary picked up that piece of paper. Before I could snatch it back, it was too late. She looked at what was written, frowning. "Why does your proposal look exactly like mine, sis?" I tried reaching for it again, but Mary, being taller and healthier, held it out of my reach. Both Mom and Dad walked over, looking serious. Dad grabbed my bag, taking out the stack of papers, growing more stern with each page. "Anna, I didn't expect you to plagiarize." Mom stared at me with disappointment. "Anna, if you can't write it, just tell us. We haven't forced you. How could you copy Mary's proposal?" Mary clenched that piece of paper, tears smudging her perfectly done eye makeup. "It's my fault," she cried. "Even though I'm not biological, I shouldn't inherit the company despite excelling. I'll just move out." Mom tried to console her. "You're not the one who plagiarized. There's no way we'd let you leave. Have they already decided I plagiarized?" I frowned, looking at Mary. "I didn't copy. I wrote and printed this myself. You're the one who copied." "But I posted it on Twitter an hour ago." "Sis," Mary cried like a delicate flower. "I published first, and you printed it afterward. Really, I wrote it myself." "Mom, Dad, you have to believe me." I looked at them pleadingly. Being my biological parents, they should believe me. But Dad said, "If you didn't copy, show us the computer where you wrote it. Bring out the records." Mary immediately suggested, "Sis bought a new laptop a few days ago. It must be there. We just need to compare. Then bring down the laptop. We surely don't want to wrongly accuse you." Mom looked at me anxiously. I started sweating. Nothing was on that laptop. I had wiped it clean. There were no traces on the cybercafe computer either. Now, aside from my own word, there was no proof that I wrote this proposal myself. How did things get this bad? I spoke with a dry throat. "The computer's broken." Upon hearing this, Mary turned to Mom, beginning to cry again. Mom, I was only trying to help clear my sister's name. But the computer's broken. How can this be on me? I think I should just leave. Mom held Mary, crying along. My dear, don't cry, it breaks Mom's heart. Tears flowed as she glared at me, her softness gone. Anna, you're ungrateful. How could you treat Mary this way? Dad stern-faced. Anna, I have no daughter like you. How dare you plagiarize and blame others? Did nobody ever teach you how to behave? Each hurtful word hit me hard, leaving me shaking and speechless. Come, rethink your actions with me. Mom dragged me back to my room, pulling me so hard some hair strands fell off. Think hard about whether what you did was right. Once you figure it out, I'll send you abroad. You won't need to come back. I struggled to get up. I'm not leaving. I didn't plagiarize. But Mom just gave a cold glance, slamming the door behind her. I couldn't hold on anymore, collapsing on the floor. I didn't want to go abroad. The last time, that accident shattered my bones. It hurt so much. A new phone notification rang. I crawled to the phone and saw it was another update from Mary. This time, she posted a few photos with red, swollen eyes from crying. Maybe it's my fault. I shouldn't have hoped for something that isn't mine. With this tweet, her fans were heartbroken in the comments. What happened to Mary? Is that country bumpkin bullying you? Insider info. The bumpkin copied Mary's proposal and even accused Mary of stealing. How can she be so vile? No way. I'm going to get revenge for Mary. Poor Mary. Is it her fault she was mistaken at birth? Why harm her? Just because she's the biological one doesn't mean Mary should concede. Mary wrote that proposal through her own capabilities. Furious netizens flooded Mary's comments, cursing me. I put my phone down and quickly wiped my tears, staring blankly out the window. Why can't I change anything even with a second chance? I'm so exhausted. Deep in thought, I suddenly heard the window shatter. Looking up, I saw something red thrown at me, and someone was breaking the glass. The person mouthed the words, "Stay away from Mary." My body froze, trembling as I backed away. The person smirked triumphantly. I made up my mind, knocking hard on the door. Mom, open up. I've thought it through. I'm going abroad. On the way to the airport, Mom sat beside me, smiling with a gentle warmth. She said what I said last night about not coming back. It was just out of anger. There's no way we'd stop you from coming back. Have fun. Tell us when you're tired. It seemed like the harsh, cold Mom from last night was just my imagination. I nodded, smiling casually. Lily messaged me. Anna, heard from Mary you're on leave. You're so talented, are you really giving up? I replied lightheartedly. I'm planning to travel abroad. Been thinking about it for a long time. Need a break. Lily sent back a disappointed emoji. With experience from before, I was cautious throughout, safely reaching the departure hall with Mom. I said farewell to her, then walked inside. She planned for me to go to France, saying I had lots of relatives there who could look after me. I was about to go through security when I overheard a girl nearby on the phone, saying, "Don't try to find me. I'm headed to Antarctica. Don't bother me with anything." As soon as I heard that, I was intrigued. I walked over and asked her if people can actually visit Antarctica. She laughed and said, "Of course you can. There's even a spot left in our tour group. Interested? I can check with the guide for you." I nodded eagerly, and she went off to find the guide. Mary was at it again on her social, posting yet another selfie. This time, the caption read, "Project proposal submitted. Fingers crossed that Dad, the CEO, is impressed." A quick glance at the comments showed nothing but praise for her. I chuckled, realizing none of it mattered anymore. The girl returned quickly with the guide. He showed me his credentials, and even their official social media. "We're a legit agency," he said, with experts explaining things. "You're in luck, usually. It's hard to get tickets at the last minute with the crowds." I pulled out the card my parents had given me, but after a moment's thought, I used my card from my own savings from working instead. With all the tickets bought, I joined the tour to Antarctica. It was my first time on a boat for that long. Getting so seasick I thought I'd pass out. But seeing whales gave me an incredible sense of vitality I'd never felt before. Eventually, we reached an area with cell service, and my phone buzzed. It was Mom. "Anna, didn't you leave the country?" she asked anxiously. I looked at the endless sea around me. I did. She asked again, your aunt said she didn't meet you? But before I could answer, the signal was gone again, and I had to put my phone away. I couldn't really help it if I didn't get her calls. And so, I was cut off from the world for days until we returned to somewhere with a signal. Opening up my messages, I found one from Lily. They're saying you quit over plagiarism. I clicked the link she sent and was stunned. A so-called housekeeper had posted my proposal online. Finally, people understood why Mary was crying so much earlier. They were angry, ranting about it. Shameless jerk. No wonder Mary was so upset it was copied. A country bumpkin who can't write and just plagiarizes. So embarrassing. Shouldn't have even brought her home in the first place. Yeah, let her stay with her adoptive family till she rots. Then Mary tweeted something. No need to freak out, everyone. My sister's on vacation abroad, don't bother her. Today, our company will live stream my proposal for you all to see. This tweet sent her followers into a frenzy. She's traveling after doing that? Should sell her organs. Right. Feed her to the fish. I checked the live stream time and realized it was in 5 minutes, conveniently, just as I had internet access. She went ahead and submitted the proposal. I couldn't wait to see how people reacted to it. As the live stream began, Mary, wearing a cute dress, started explaining her proposal, reading it word for word. Her fans filled the chat with compliments, calling her smart and beautiful. I smiled a bit and kept watching. Mary finished with a bow. That's all for my presentation. But an expert sitting in the audience asked Mary, are you sure you're done? Mary smiled even brighter, of course. The expert adjusted his glasses, looking serious. Your proposal is missing the most crucial parts, the expectations and results. You said you did the work, but how well was it done? We don't know. Mary froze. That's impossible. I completed it. Her fans lashed out in the chat. What expert? Mary said it's done. Useless expert, I could do better. Meanwhile, one lone comment in the chat said, it's definitely not complete. That user was insulted before they proved their education and work credentials, shutting up the critics. Another expert raised a point. You said your proposal is based on the current situation. Could you elaborate on your approach? Mary was silent for a long stretch before stammering, I. Several experts shook their heads. The third expert spoke. If your company really considers this incomplete proposal, feel free to use it, but... He chuckled lightly, leaving his sentence unfinished. Mary's face turned beet red as she was visibly unable to respond. And people on social media suddenly got it. So she's the clown who can't even think for herself. Turns out she's the plagiarist. Poor Anna. The true heiress tarnished by an imposter. Looks like genes don't lie. How could such parents have a smart daughter? The fake's true colors finally showed. I've wondered for a while, why does Anna, the legit heir, have to compete with someone who was accidentally switched? It's ridiculous. And to top it off, Anna's parents still treat Mary as their own. That's just tragic. Mary's complexion ran from flushes of red to pale as she ended the live stream abruptly. Yet her earlier buzz turned against her, and angry netizens pushed Mary into the trend for all the wrong reasons. I was over the moon with laughter. Even the Antarctic snow seemed whiter. Is that a citron crystal? Not cheap, is it? The girl I met at the airport leaned in to take a closer look at my necklace. I took it off and handed it to her. I gazed at the necklace with mixed feelings about my parents. Like the netizens said, they planned to switch me and Mary, yet they treated her so well. The light through your crystal isn't right, the girl noted, examining it against the sun. I'm studying gemology, and this one is split and glued back together, see? With the snowy backdrop of Antarctica, the oddities were even more pronounced. There was something inside. The girl's words hit me like lightning. There was something inside the yellow crystal, but this crystal was something my parents spent a lot of money and time custom making for me. Yeah, custom made. It took a good 2 weeks. I was desperate to know what was inside, so I ran to ask the tour guide. He told me the ship had a cutting machine, and they could help me cut it open. But he tried to talk me out of it. This crystal seems valuable to me. Isn't it a shame to cut it? I shook my head. I was determined. When the crystal was finally cut, everyone in the tour group gathered around. The crystal was quickly opened, and a small black object fell out. A spy camera, someone gasped. With trembling hands, I picked it up and inspected it again and again. It was indeed a camera. No wonder Mary could always copy my work immediately, no matter what changes I made. No wonder my parents, although clearly favoring Mary, gave me such an expensive yellow crystal necklace and proposed a fair competition. It was all a ploy to rightfully place their beloved Mary in the heir's position. Yeah, they cared so much about their reputation. How could they just give the company directly to an adopted daughter? Everything made sense now. Who's nasty enough to hide a camera in your necklace, but also spend a lot of money on a yellow crystal? Someone asked me. I laughed. It's not strange. I'm a girl lacking both money and love. Only when they gave me something expensive and reminded me to wear it, I would be careful to put it on every day. This made me mistakenly believe they loved me while they carried out their plan. I casually tossed the necklace into the sea. It gurgled and released a few bubbles before disappearing. By the time I got a signal again, we were almost home. Mom finally called me again. Anna, where on earth have you been? Come home, and we'll change your last name. The company and house will be yours in the future. I smiled serenely. No need to change it. Anna is just fine. Then I hung up. In my past life, I couldn't understand why they wouldn't change my last name. Even though I was their daughter. Mary was only the adopted daughter, yet she got the family name. But now, I'm not obsessed with it anymore. At the airport, I saw the news on the big screen. After the scandal broke about parents mistreating their real daughter and favoring the adopted one, the stock price plummeted. To stabilize the stock, my parents sent Mary back to her biological parents. Her real mom had just happily given birth to a seventh child, finally having a son. The 5 older sisters had long run away. Mary couldn't escape, so she was stuck at home babysitting. Every day, people flooded Mary's social media with harsh comments, but she never updated it anymore. My parents came crying to me, begging me to come back. My dad said, if you don't return, the group will go bankrupt for real. Mom kneeled down holding my hand. Anna, I was really wrong, please come home. I shook my head, firmly refusing. I turned back to the boss who had previously invited me to his company. While I worked there to earn money, I had tutored his son, which made him notice me. Since then, he admired my work skills and had long invited me to work there. When I joined his company, they were planning a trial merger with my parents' group. Originally, they didn't involve me to avoid suspicion, but I volunteered to join. Participating in such a big merger would help me learn a lot. After the acquisition of the group was completed, I was exceptionally promoted to vice president because of my excellent work. After the celebration party, I walked out of the hotel and saw an old couple hunched over, blaming each other. It's your fault. You said Mary was more like a real lady and only liked Mary. Putting the camera in the crystal was your idea. You bought the camera. As they argued, they wrestled with each other until they slipped on the snowy ground and fell, struggling to get back up. I got into the car. It slowly drove on the snowy road. Outside the window, a woman holding a little boy trudged along. An older woman was hitting her fist by fist. It was Mary. She wore a worn-out cotton coat, nothing like the glamorous persona she once flaunted online. I turned my head to look forward. These people no longer mattered to me. The snowy road was difficult, but if you go slowly you can walk steadily.